Now and again, he raises his head and looks towards the southern wall where there is a closed door, and he listens. At a certain moment, he opens a door which is on the eastern side and opens onto the road, and he looks out. I can see a small portion of the dusty little road. He seems to be waiting for someone. He then goes back to his work. He's not sad, but very serious. He closes the door again and goes back to work. While he is busy making something, which I think is part of a wheel, his mother comes in. She comes in by the southern door. She rushes towards Jesus. She is dressed in dark blue and is bareheaded. Her simple tunic is held tight at her waist by a cord of the same colour. She is worried when she calls her son and leans with both hands on his arm in an attitude of prayer and sorrow. Jesus caresses her, passing his arm over her shoulder, and comforts her. He leaves his work, takes the apron off, and goes out with her. I suppose you would like to know the exact words they said. Very few were spoken by Mary. "Oh Jesus, come, come, he is very ill." They are uttered with trembling lips and tears shining in her reddened and tired eyes. Jesus says only, "Mother," but that word means everything. They go into the adjoining room, full of bright sunshine coming from a door open onto the little kitchen garden, which is also full of light and green, and where doves are fluttering around near the clothes hanging out to dry and blowing in the wind. The room is poor but tidy. There is a low bed covered with small mattresses. I say mattresses because they are thick and soft things, but the bed is not like ours. On it, leaning on many cushions, there is Joseph. He is dying. It is obvious from the livid paleness of his face, his lifeless eyes, his panting chest, and the total relaxation of all his body. Mary goes to his left-hand side, takes his wrinkled hand, now livid near its nails, rubs it, caresses it, kisses it. She dries with a small piece of cloth the perspiration that forms shiny lines at his temples. She wipes a glassy tear in the corner of his eye. She moistens his lips with a piece of linen dipped into a liquid which I think is white wine. Jesus goes to his right-hand side. He lifts quickly and carefully the body which has sunk. He strains him onto the cushions, which he then adjusts together with Mary. He caresses the forehead of the dying man and endeavours to encourage him. Mary is weeping softly, without any noise, but she is weeping. Her large tears run down her pale cheeks, right down to her dark blue dress, and they look like bright sapphires. Joseph recovers somewhat and stares at Jesus. He takes his hand as if he wanted to say something, and also to receive strength for the last trial from the divine contact. Jesus bends over that hand and kisses it. Joseph smiles. He then turns round, and with his eyes he looks for Mary and smiles also at her. Mary kneels down near the bed, endeavouring to smile. But she does not succeed, and she bends her head. Joseph lays his hand on her head with a chaste caress that looks like a blessing. Only the fluttering and cooing of the doves, the rustling of the leaves, the warbling of the water can be heard outside, and the breathing of the dying man in the room. Jesus goes round the bed, takes a stool, and makes Mary sit on it, once again calling her simply Mother. He then goes back to his place and takes Joseph's hand into his own once again. The scene is so real that I can't help crying because of Mary's pain.